Diana joining us. Great to welcome back a woman, very talented woman. She is a Tony nominee, Emmy Award-winning actress, singer, recording artist, very talented lady. She's been down here many times before in our area here in Sarasota, and she'll be back again real soon, and we'll let you know when that is. But we want to have her on today to talk about her Christmas CD, which she just put out. We're joined today by Liz Callaway, and Liz, good to talk to you again. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to talk to you too, Doug.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, I guess 3 years since we chatted last time. I know you've been down here since we talked, but sorry we didn't get a chance to promote that.
Yes, well, can I tell you, the way the weather is in New York today, I wish I was in Sarasota right now.
I hear there's some, I was watching some of the football over the weekend with the snow in the area, and you're getting it today, I understand, up there.
Yeah, mostly like sleet. Yeah. But, you know, it's a challenge. It's a challenge today. So it's just talking to someone in Sarasota makes me feel a little bit warmer.
I grew up in Long Island, so I don't miss that weather. I know it well, so that's why I'm down here full time.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Well, first of all, congratulations. I'm glad I saw your posting on Facebook, and I'm glad we could kind of talk today when you posted about your Christmas CD, Merry and Bright is the name of it, right?
Yep, that's right. I produced it myself. It's always been on my bucket list to have a Christmas album because I love Christmas music, and I decided this year, it's like, you know what? Why not produce it myself and learn something new about the business? And it was a real labor of love, and now it's out, and I'm really excited about the response to it. Has been really great. So this I'm hoping to do another, volume 2 maybe next year.
Is it difficult? I mean, obviously there's so many songs to choose from, and you pick 5 great ones. We'll talk about the titles in a minute, but I guess that's a big challenge. And then when you do that, you have to kind of pick or choose arrangements or make arrangements of your own, right, to fit your style or what you want to do.
Yes. I mean, that's actually the fun part of doing an album is coming up with the arrangements. It is hard choosing because obviously there's so many wonderful Christmas songs. So, in this time, because I decided to start small and do 5 songs, also as an experiment to see if people would buy, it costs half the price of a regular CD. Originally I was just going to do a digital download, and then I took a poll on Facebook, and everyone said, oh, no, we like to buy CDs of Christmas music. So even though our world is evolving into a more digital world musically, people are very traditional when it comes to Christmas. So it's like, okay, I'm going to do 5 songs. And so I really picked the 5 I wanted to do, first. Although obviously I could do many volumes, like sure. Johnny Mathis. he has yet another. I love his Christmas albums. He has another one out this year, which is wonderful, by the way.
A new one. I didn't know he had a new one coming out this year.
Yeah, it's a new one. In fact, I was so happy my CD was mentioned in Entertainment Weekly as a new Christmas album to get, and in the same sentence they mentioned Johnny Mathis. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in the same sentence as Johnny Mathis, so that was cool.
I saw a picture of him recently, and he looks the same to me as he always did. I guess he never gets any older, old Johnny.
No, and he sounds the same. I saw him in concert a few years ago, and he sounds great. I don't know how old he is, but he can still sing.
He's got to be in his 70s, because he started in the mid-late 50s, so he's got to be around 70-something. But, it doesn't look good or sound it.
I think so.
Yeah, you're right.
But he's taking good care of his voice, because he sounds the same. Producing the CD was, just all the... Usually recording companies have staff to do things, and I did everything myself, which was fun, but it was like, oh, I have to learn this. Oh, you have to do publishers, and oh, you have to do this, and mastering, and whatever. So it was a huge learning curve, and it's given me a new appreciation of what goes into making, a Christmas album or any album. And it's fun to learn new things, and so now that it's out, it's even more rewarding because I put so much of my time and effort into it. And it was a family affair because I do a song with my sister, and there's a song with my son who just graduated from college, and he arranged this really fun a cappella song, and he sang all the parts with me, so that was fun to do something with my son on this as well.
Yeah, just the titles, so I'll read them off. Joy to the World, Growing Up Christmas List, Silent Night, and Mary, Did You Know? That's with your sister Ann Hampton Callaway, for those folks who are not aware, they're sisters. Santa Claus is Coming to Town, that's the one that features your son Nicholas, and then Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. So great array of titles there, good songs.
Oh, thank you.
Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Judy Garland introduced that, right? And Meet Me in St. Louis.
Right.
That one always gets me.
I mean,
that has that great
probably,
poignant style or to it that really gets you.
Yeah, I mean, there's something about that song. I mean, I love all Christmas music, and I really wanted to do a combination of some traditional and then, some contemporary music. But Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is a very, that song always gets me.
Yeah.
There's just something about it. It's the emotion of that song I love.
And the one you do with your sister, you've worked with your sister, obviously, with the Road Show, a couple different versions of that. How was that recording with her? You like that?
Oh, it was great. We had such a good time. Anne has a wonderful Christmas album also called This Christmas, and I did a duet with her on her Christmas album many years ago, which we recorded in, Los Angeles in July. And so, of course, I knew I wanted to do a song with her. And so we got together in each other's homes and just worked on the arrangement together, and it was just really special. And she's been so supportive of this project, and I know she's very proud of me for taking on, producing something, and it just meant the world to me to have the song with her, and I love how it turned out. I think it's the reaction to it has been wonderful.
And the CD is available. I'll give out a couple of places here. I guess you can go to Amazon, right, and get it there, and also on iTunes, right? Is
right.
That correct? And also LizTunes.com. Is that the iTunes site?
LizTunes.com will take you to Amazon and to all my different albums.
So, or you just type in your name and it'll come up somewhere on the internet. But
yeah.
I guess that's a challenge, though, Liz. I mean, I've talked to other singers and musicians, like you said, with the digital age and all that. It's a different world. It's not the old days where you have a record to produce or promote and you can just buy it at the Target store. It's a different way of getting music out there, right?
Right. It's true. And I made a decision kind of at the beginning of this year to kind of embrace all things digital and new technology, and instead of complaining about the music business has changed, why not see how you can use it? How can you use technology and as a way to make more music? And my ultimate goal, I mean, this really was an experiment in many ways, experiment to see if I could produce something, and it's an experiment to see how people react to a 5-song EP, which is what the technical term is, an EP when it's under, I think when it's under 60 minutes of music, it's an EP. Ultimately, I would love to record a lot more often and more 5-song EPs. I'd love to do something of movie music and something of lullabies and some, Right. So this is sort of, if this sells well, then I think it's an opportunity to make more music, more albums more often, because, in this day and age, it's so expensive to make a full album. I don't want to record every 6 years. I have so much more music in me that I'd love to record.
Right.
Whereas back in the day, everyone would record a new album every year, back in the golden age of recording. So I'm hoping that by doing things more, digitally and whatever, that maybe it's an opportunity that I can make more music instead of, I think it's just kind of how your attitude is towards things.
Sure.
You have to reframe things and look at it from a positive angle. At least that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's the whole industry, broadcast industry, everything's changed because of it, and you can complain about it, but it's not going to do anything unless you get involved with it, right? So you got to find a way to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to join in and turn it into a positive. So, which is what I'm trying to do. And actually, so far, I'm delighted with the response of how the album is doing and selling, and a lot of it has to do with social media, and that's like the new way you market things. And so I've making a real concerted effort to be really work on all that. And it's, huge work in progress. And I'm keeping a list of things I've learned this time and to do next time. But I really hope it's the start of a whole catalog of other recording projects that I'm hoping to do.
The start of something big, as Steve Allen once wrote.
Exactly.
You recorded a lot of, too, being on Broadway. You've done your share, I would imagine, of cast albums. Do they still do those for Broadway shows?
Yes, they do. Yeah. Miraculously.
I was wondering.
They still do it for most albums. And in fact, I've done some small, I've done some off-Broadway shows. I did a wonderful show in 2001 called The Spitfire Grill.
Oh, yeah.
And it started previews, Playwrights Horizons. It started previews a couple days before 9/11. So obviously, when 9/11 happened, it was just the timing of it. The show didn't run. I think it ran a month.
Right.
And ultimately, it's a show that was so good. I think it should have moved to Broadway or had a long run off Broadway. But we did do a recording of it, and by doing a recording of it, it's done all over the country now. Mm-hmm. So it maybe wasn't a big success in New York, but a lot of theater companies have done it. So it's important for the longevity of a show to be recorded. There are companies who will take on the finance. I don't know how profitable they are, but thank goodness they still do cast albums.
Yeah, I was going to say, I grew up in New York, so I got to see some of them, but you really learn about the history of theater and those songs by listening to the cast albums. That's how you get a lot of the music from, you never see the show, obviously, they might be 30, 40 years previously, but those shows live on, at least with the music. Even if you don't see the show, you get a sense of it from listening to those albums.
Right, and a good cast album is as good as this show. Sometimes it's better than the show.
Right.
I remember the first Broadway show I ever saw was Company, and I loved it. But I had the cast album first. Now, of course, I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And so when I went there, and I just loved it. So then when I went to see the show, I loved the show, but it was a little different than the cast album. I was like, wait, they're doing it wrong. That's not how it goes. But they had changed it specifically, like the opening number. They had changed it to make it better for the album. So it was funny, but it was a huge influence on me. And so fortunately, cast albums are still being done.
Nobody better than Elaine Stritch in that, right?
Oh, God,
wow.
Yeah. Did you ever see the making of it?
I did. It's a great documentary.
Yeah, that's a wonderful
that's where I was really
documentary.
introduced to it. I didn't see that show originally, but yeah, great documentary.
Yeah.
Well, they made her do it again, I think. I guess they made her come in like a Wednesday or something between matinees or before matinee to re-record The Lady Through Lunch. Remember that in the documentary?
Yeah. It just was, I put this up on Facebook because in 1981, Merrily We Roll Along was my first Broadway show, Stephen Sondheim's, and so I put something up about it. And then the day that the show ran 2 weeks, and the day after we closed, we recorded the cast album all day and night. So you can imagine we were all depressed and exhausted, but then so lucky that we did the cast album. But it was so full of emotion and heartbreak, and it was incredible. It was that was my first time doing a cast album.
Tough day to have to do it, though. I mean, they couldn't have waited a couple of days.
No, it was just the time. I think they had planned on doing it on that day, and maybe we didn't know we were going to close.
Yeah, that's a tough day. Yeah, that was a great, like you said, the documentary on Lady Through Lunch. I understand Elaine Stritch just moved out of New York not too long ago. I saw that online.
Yeah, and I heard that she's having a hard time being away from New York.
Yeah. I was surprised
that she did that. That's quite an adjustment, but boy, she's something.
Yeah, she was still performing until about a year ago. I know she did some show in New York,
she would perform at the Carlisle, and she lived at the Carlisle and hotel, and God bless her.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard because I think it was hard for her to leave. And,
great talent.
I wish her all the best.
Well, you're a great talent, too, Liz, and we thank you for spending a few minutes with us today here at WTMY. Again, Merry and Bright is the name of the EP. I guess it's still a CD, but it's called an EP.
Yeah.
And you can get it, again, go to liztunes.com or at Amazon. Just look up Merry and Bright, or just look it up online, and it'll show up. And Liz, appreciate you taking some time today, and please let us know when you're headed down this way. We'll either have you on the phone or definitely in studio when you're in town.
Yes, and you and Doug, you and I will go on the tennis court.
We will. Yeah, I got up there for the first time in a while. A little rusty, but I'll get it back.
Okay, all right. So you have a goal. Work on your tennis game. So the next time I'm in town, we'll play.
We will. Thank you, Liz.
Hey, happy holidays.
Happy Christmas
nice to talk to you again.
Very good. Talk to you soon.